Welcome Aries to your in-depth weekly forecast for week commencing the 13th of May for the Ascendant, the Sun or the Moon. On the screen now I'm showing the event chart at midnight on Monday, which provides a backdrop of energy for this entire week. Now you can see that Mars, your ruler, continues in your sign. And in the first 10 degrees, the first decan, that gives you even more potential to really believe in what you want to do. It increases your desire, your conviction, but most of all your stamina. So that's really positive. But also Mercury, you can see at 26 degrees and 47, that's coming to the end of its journey through your sign, which began on the 10th of March. On the 1st of April, Mercury went into a retrograde. It started at 27 degrees and it inversed backwards to 15 by the 25th of March. Later on Monday, it returns to 27 degrees. So this is known as emerging from the post-retrograde shadow. Mercury in your sign can be quite the spark. But if something you've tried to do has been frustrated in some ways, despite the might of the total solar eclipse, despite the charm of Venus making its way through your sign, and the North Node providing its support too, at times that may have been quite exasperating. The good news is that if you are focused on seeing progress and gaining traction, particularly around the financial plan, and perhaps where you have been creative and demonstrated your flair, the evidence of the improvement can start to show itself this week. And it could do from Monday itself, because Saturn, the planet that rules the machinations of time, very much to do with hard work and discipline, that's forging a terrific link with Venus, the planet of money, on Monday. So all that you've been doing can come back to you now. But also on Monday, there is an alliance between the Sun and Uranus. This is one of the most dazzling in astrology because it can be a little bit unpredictable. If there is an opportunity to make a purchase, you could do so quite spontaneously if you thought that you were going to get a genuine bargain. But also Uranus can be about being free and independent. And if there's something that has been costing you money that you no longer see the value of, Taurus, you may want to liberate yourself from that expense. But as the week goes on and Mercury moves on Wednesday into the sign of Taurus, your appreciation of the foundations of your life in terms of your thinking, Mercury, can definitely be sharpened up. But there is a quarter moon on Wednesday in the sign of Leo, which shares your fire triplicity. And that could encourage that energy that the Sun's alliance with Uranus sparked at the start of the week, could see you wanting to be much more spontaneous, and it could see you being a little bit more frivolous. But if you are someone who likes a flutter, I feel that this quarter moon is not the best if you're thinking of speculation of some kind, because the fifth house is very much about risk. So I wouldn't risk your resources this week, but it doesn't mean to say you shouldn't do something different and investigate something with a fresh eye, which is the energy of Uranus. But you know, as the week goes on, the Sun moves forwards again and connects to Jupiter. If we go back to the 13th of May 2023, Jupiter moved into Taurus, and Taurus can be about money, but of course money has been quite a tricky area for many of us over the last 2.5 years with the cost of living crisis. I wonder what would have happened if the war in the Ukraine hadn't happened. But Jupiter hasn't necessarily given us all the solutions. What it might do by the end of this week, as it links with the Sun, is helps us to see whatever the situation we currently have is in each of our individual lives in as positive a way as possible. But some people could have a genuine stroke of luck, because the Sun and Jupiter together gives us a greater sense of certainty that something will work out well. In the case of Saturn, that can make us perhaps a little bit more pessimistic about our prospects. But at the start of this week, Saturn's link to Venus is actually very grounding in a positive way. But I feel that the Sun's link to Jupiter could see you feeling a lot more hopeful, particularly if you have really been up against it. So that's this week for you, Aries. You are given the energy of Mars in your sign. If Mercury has at times proved a little bit frustrating, you're going to see how that will play out. It is going to clash with Pluto on Wednesday. So if you aren't needing to deal with someone who sees life in a very different way to you, has a different set of values, if you're trying to persuade your boss to give you a little bit of a pay rise, then maybe they're thinking more about the future viability of their business and can't quite go to what you want. So there may need to be a little bit of give and take. That's the type of scenario that could play out with Mercury square Pluto. Or maybe around a friendship, you're starting to see who is really more aligned to you in terms of a more earthy way of being, not such a social interaction. And the energy of the quarter moon just suggests that to be a little bit more cautious about having a punt on anything, but approaching things in a fresh way is definitely still a good thing. And Mercury can help you to work out and think about the value in terms of whatever you're doing around your resources, but also about the things that are important to you that you might enjoy, like good food, cooking from scratch, growing your own vegetables. The second house can be very earthy, but it can be very sensuous. And if you're fortunate enough for your finances to be going better, then you may want to indulge in a few luxuries this week. Thank you so much for having joined me. Have a great week. And do remember to check out that special offer on my personal horoscope reports for your tropical or your draconic 30% off. Please see the link below. And if to support the channel, please subscribe and do click or tap that bell notification symbol. Thank you.